Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking a really serious investment deep dive into a piece of conceptual biotechnology that is, quite frankly, a total paradigm shift. If you track cardiovascular health or medical wearables, you already know that optimizing human performance and longevity is a massive, incredibly lucrative market. But what if we could mathematically design a wearable that optimizes your body's chemistry in real time? Well, today we are unpacking the complete, newly updated blueprint for the Nitric Quantum Patch version 2. We're looking at a closed-loop system designed to perfectly calibrate your endogenous nitric oxide production. It is a completely fascinating intersection of metamaterials, nanotechnology, and AI. Before we get into the really incredible tech, we need to take a second to look at this critical notice. Just to be absolutely clear upfront, this blueprint is an industrial-grade roadmap. It's meant strictly for professional research and development in certified good manufacturing practice or GMP facilities. We are dealing with nanoparticles, active chemical precursors, and a highly sophisticated medical device. Handling these elements requires qualified personnel and strict regulatory approvals from bodies like the FDA or the EMA. So this isn't some homebrew supplement remedy you whip up in your kitchen, right? It's a theoretical yet highly actionable medical R&D blueprint. Acknowledging this right out of the gate is absolutely crucial because it really validates the seriousness of the underlying science and the massive scale of this technological investment opportunity. Patient safety is literally the absolute priority here. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the challenge of endothelial health, the meta-Nguyen innovation itself, precise dosing through metamaterials, consistency testing using Monte Carlo simulations, our exact regulatory strategy, and finally, the actual investment opportunity. Let's start with Section 1, Endothelial Health, the challenge. So, nitric oxide is absolutely fundamental to our cardiovascular wellness, but its production naturally drops off as we age and deal with stress. To really grasp why this patch is such a breakthrough, we have to contrast it with what's currently out there on the market. Traditional oral nitric oxide supplements, things like L-citrulline or beetroot powders, they have a massive competitive disadvantage. They offer highly variable bioavailability, they're entirely unpersonalized, and they create these really erratic peaks and valleys in your system. You take a pill, you get a huge spike, and then it's just gone. The Nitric Quantum Patch fundamentally flips that entire model on its head. It gives you a sustained release over 24 hours, utilizes AI-driven closed-loop feedback, and delivers precise dynamic dosing based on what your body actually needs in that exact moment. Moving right along to Section 2. Innovation, Nitric Quantum Patch. The solution here relies on 4 integrated pillars working together in perfect harmony. First up, topologically optimized metamaterials. These are essentially microscopic geometric structures that physically control the release of the precursors. Second, protective nanocarriers infused with selenium, magnesium, and zinc. And these aren't just random minerals thrown in. They provide vital antioxidant protection to the NO pathway and actively support the eNOS enzymes. Third, we have high-sensitivity, real-time sensing of your biosignals. And fourth, an AI-driven closed-loop system that processes those exact signals to adjust the patch's output on the fly. The sheer brilliance here is that this device isn't pumping dangerous nitric oxide gas into your body. Instead, it safely potentiates your body's own endogenous production using natural dietary precursors. Section 3. Metamaterials and precise dosing. And this brilliantly illustrates the mechanical advantage of the patch. Take a look at the blue line. That represents a standard Fickian release matrix. You see that massive, rapid initial dump of the active ingredient? That's followed by a steep deceleration. That is exactly the erratic spike we want to avoid. Now, look at the dashed orange line. That is the metamaterial anomalous release profile. By optimizing the physical geometry of the patch at a truly microscopic level, the engineers can literally flatten the curve. This achieves a near-linear, constant supply of precursors over a full 24-hour target period. It drastically outperforms standard patches by ensuring your body is never overwhelmed nor starved of the necessary compounds. Now, this sustained physical release directly translates into optimal biological performance. On the left, you're looking at the pharmacokinetic profile, which is basically how your body absorbs it. It shows a beautiful, stable climb in plasma precursors that holds incredibly stable before trailing off after the 24-hour mark when you take the patch off. And over on the right, you see the estimated endogenous NO enhancement. Because the input is mathematically proven to be constant, the resulting boost to your nitric oxide proxies is also incredibly stable. So what does that mean for you? It means 24 hours of sustained cardiovascular and endothelial support, rather than a fleeting 2-hour window you might get from a standard oral supplement. Let's jump into Section 4, Consistency, Monte Carlo simulations. Theory is great, right? But human biology is notoriously messy. I want you to treat the data here as the true hero of this entire blueprint. What you are looking at is the result of 1,000 separate mathematical simulations. The dark blue line is our ideal target mean release, hitting right near our 500 milligram goal. But check out that massive light blue shaded area. That represents a 95% confidence interval. It shows extreme variability, meaning one user might get 300 milligrams, while another gets 700. Why? Well, primarily because of natural skin factor variability. Human skin thickness, hydration, and permeability vary wildly from person to person. So the crucial point is this. Without dynamic adjustment, a static patch is just a gamble. The natural variability of human skin absolutely necessitates the AI closed-loop system. The AI isn't just a marketing gimmick for tech bros. It is a mandatory risk mitigation strategy. By continuously reading proxy biomarkers like heart rate variability and localized blood flow, the AI firmware dynamically adjusts the metamaterials release rate. This ensures that whether you have thick, dry skin or thin, highly hydrated skin, you receive the exact same therapeutic consistency and precision dosing. It literally guarantees patient safety and continuous real-time personalization. Section 5. Timeline and Regulatory Strategy. For those of you looking at this as a serious investment, the execution strategy is absolutely critical. The blueprint lays out a highly structured 4 to 7 year roadmap to the global market. It kicks off with a very aggressive first year, securing IP in the first 3 months and validating a lab prototype by month 9. Notice how the phases intelligently overlap here. While clinical studies begin in month 16, the GMP scale-up for factory production runs parallel, starting at month 30. This is huge because it ensures that once the final clinical endpoints validate the AI's closed-loop efficacy, the manufacturing infrastructure is already completely validated and ready for commercial launch. No wasted time. Of course, regulatory hurdles are pretty much always the biggest risk in biotech. The meta-no-no strategy mitigates this by attacking it proactively right from day one. Because this combines natural dietary supplements with an AI-driven delivery device, it's very likely going to be classified as a borderline or combo device. That means potentially Class 2A, 2B, or even Class 3, depending on the final therapeutic claims. The blueprint calls for immediate pre-submission meetings with major agencies like the FDA in the US and the EMA in Europe. It also mandates the immediate implementation of an ISO 13485 quality management system and incredibly strict ISO 10993 biocompatibility testing. This rigorous, compliance-first approach is exactly what institutional investors want to see to ensure rapid global market access. Finally, Section 6, the technological investment opportunity. Let's synthesize all of this into the ultimate opportunity. Now, what's really interesting about the slide is the TRL, or Technology Readiness Level Verification. A super common trap in biotech investing is funding science fiction that is, 20 years away from reality. But look at these numbers. The nanocarriers, the flexible electronics, the AI, machine learning on the edge, these all sit at a TRL of 7 to 9. They are mature, existing technologies already running on GMP production lines today. The only real hurdle requiring heavy integration is combining them into the final form factor, which sits at a very manageable TRL 4 to 6. This means an operational, fully integrated prototype is completely feasible within an aggressive 6 to 18-month window for a dedicated R&D team. We've seen how the metamaterials flatten that release curve to outperform old-school supplements. We've seen how the Monte Carlo simulations mathematically prove the necessity of the AI for patient safety. And we've seen how the rigorous regulatory roadmap clears a viable path to the global market. The underlying technologies are mature, and the competitive advantage over traditional oral precursors is just undeniable at this point. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. With the entire blueprint mathematically validated and the core tax sitting right there on the shelf ready to go, is the Meta-Eno Quantum Patch the new gold standard investment for cardiovascular wearables? It certainly looks like the future of personalized medicine is about to stick right to our skin. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning what's possible.